Welcome everybody to the class today. We're going to look at some mistakes in another piece of writing, and I happen to think that looking at your own mistakes is probably one of the best ways to improve quickly, and so it is good to analyse where the student has gone wrong. So let's read through this let's read through this essay. Recently I have watched a TED lecture of one Norwegian sociologist. The main point he made. Now, I changed this has. I think we very often start in present perfect. Yeah, recently I have watched, and with the recently that works well. But the TED lecture has finished, yeah? It's not still going on. And he has made his point already, yeah? It's finished. And so I would always say here, the main point he made, just because, you know, I don't see a present result here from the main point that he made. I really don't. You know, it seems to not really require that has. And I think we very often start in present perfect and then go on to past simple for details, especially for details of the lecture. Yeah, so the main point he made, and by the way, the student does do that when he hits this verb here. To make his point, he took data. Yeah, he doesn't say he has taken data, and has taken would sound incorrect. And so I think it's best to start with present perfect, sure, but then when you're, you know, to introduce the fact that you have watched the lecture, but when you're talking about the lecture, well, it's finished. He has already made his point, and so the main point he made might seem obvious. To be born, yeah, it's very rare that you see born used actively, incredibly rare, in fact, so please always use it passively. To be born in a place where higher education is completely free is better. To make his point, he took data about the wealthiest people in the world from the list in Forbes magazine. Now, yes, you can use the here, basically because I do know that Forbes magazine does a list of the wealthiest people in the world. And because I do know about that, and you may suspect that I know about that, you certainly can use the. But there's nothing wrong with an A here either if you're introducing this to someone who may not know that. And that's why A is also possible, but the actually works here. From the list in Forbes magazine, and as the name of his lecture implies, where in the world is it easiest to get rich? He tried to, so maybe let's put a comma in there. And as the name of his lecture implies, and I would probably put one there because you've got a capital letter there. Where in the world is it easiest to get rich? He tried to figure out which country provides the best chances, yeah, or the best chance. It's up to you. You can use it singular or plural. Best collocates with chance rather than biggest. Yeah, the best chance. Now, you're talking about likelihood. You're talking about probability here. And as I point out at the bottom, because he gets it right down here, yeah, he talks about the chances of getting out of poverty. He's talking about the likelihood, the probability, as he is in this expression. But at the very bottom he uses the chance to develop, and he means more people get the opportunity to develop. And so I want you to remember that chance plus 2 plus infinitive means opportunity to do something, and chance of and then gerund, yeah, chances of getting, chances of becoming, yeah, so chance of plus gerund mean the likelihood or probability of something happening. And they are different, aren't they? When you think about it, an opportunity is not the same as the likelihood, the probability of something happening. And so he did get it right twice, but he got it wrong in the very first one. And I just wanted to point out this because it's a very subtle point. You can find out more about it on my Master English Grammar course. In lecture 91, Advanced Prepositions, I deal with a chance of, likelihood, and a chance to, opportunity. So please do go and buy my Master English Grammar course if you would like more information about this. I take these essays in order to point out that what I have already spoken about in the lectures, we can find examples of this in the essays, yeah? So let's keep going. And it is a really good essay, by the way. I just thought it's a great essay for teaching because I can show you that, you know, exactly what I mentioned in that lecture. We can see that here in this essay 3 times, yeah? So his findings were that the best place to be born, where 3 people out of a million are dollar billionaires, is surprisingly Iceland. And by taking into account the fact that less than 400,000 people live on the Northern Island, comma, yeah, that's a incomplete thought, as I tell the English teachers that I work with, we conclude that one proud Iceland billionaire, Icelandic, I think we'd have to have there, because Iceland is a noun really, Icelandic billionaire, puts the small country on the top of the list. Statistics never lie. Yeah, be careful with plural. Statistics is plural. Statistics never lie, but people do. As few people, I've split this up because I didn't know where the subordinate clause belonged. Does this subordinate clause belong with this one? The main clause, yeah, there, or does it belong with the main clause that comes after it? Yeah, without a semicolon, we don't know, and it's a comma splice. It's a comma splice, and it's confusing. Because do you mean statistics never lie, but people do, as few people understand numbers? Or do you mean, as few people understand numbers, it is easier to confuse them with wrongly picked pieces of data? It's one or the other, and I need to know. Yeah, I really do need to know as the reader. And that semicolon, I'm assuming it goes with the second bit, but I can see it working very well with the first main clause as well. But I just don't know. And so avoid ambiguity with the correct punctuation. Yeah, that semicolon lets me know that that main clause stands on its own. And this main clause is coupled by a comma, yeah, it's coupled with that subordinate clause. So as few people understand numbers, it is easier to confuse them with wrongly picked pieces of data. Yeah, so be careful, make sure you're clear about where your subordinate clause belongs. It belongs with only one main clause. It can't belong